Team China's got a roster full of players ready to go for the 2023 WBC. They've been a part of every WBC since the event first started, but they haven't had much luck on the field. In 2006, they were blown out in 3 first-round games by Korea, Japan, and Taiwan by a total score of 40-6. Every game they lost by 9 runs or more. In 2009, they got their first WBC win, a 4-1 win over Taiwan, but they were blanked by Japan 4-0 and by Korea 14-0, and their tournament ended in the first round. In 2013, they got another win, 5-2 over Brazil, a good loss, 5-2 to Japan, and one blowout, losing to Cuba 12-0 and finishing third in the pool. In 2017, they were beaten by Japan, Cuba, and Australia by a combined score of 40-1. They were supposed to compete in the final Olympic qualifier in 2021, but like a few other countries, had to withdraw from the competition. Though they haven't had much success in the WBC, those wins over Taiwan and Brazil look pretty good, considering China didn't have any MLB players nor any serious prospects. They're doing something right if they can occasionally knock off a team that does have those kind of players. Team China will be placed in Pool B with some familiar teams. Japan, a team they've lost to in every edition of the WBC. Korea, a team they lost to in the first 2 WBCs. And Australia, a team that handed them an 11-0 mercy beating in the last WBC. Then there's the Czech Republic, a team they've never faced, and a team they'll have to beat if they don't want to finish last and be relegated to the qualifier next time. As I go through the roster and talk about the players' history, one team you'll hear quite often is the former American Association team, the Texas Air Hogs. From 2018 to 2020, the Air Hogs had a partnership with the Chinese national baseball team. They brought in 30 national team players and rotated several of them onto the roster. That team folded in 2020. Some of the players I don't have any information for, and some I don't even have any pictures, so this will be the most amateur-looking WBC team preview I do. Anyway, here's the team, starting with pitchers. Kwang Ju is a 27-year-old reliever for the KT Wiz of the KBO. He was born in China but grew up in Korea, and he's been with the Wiz for 8 years. Last season, he posted a 3.91 ERA and 13.03 WHIP in 58 relief appearances. 4 straight years, he's made over 50 relief appearances with a sub-4 ERA. Jian Yi is a 22-year-old former Brewers prospect. He played in the Rookie League in 2019. 15 games, 19 innings, 19 Ks, ERA 7.58, WHIP 19.47. Easy to understand why he only lasted that 1 year. Chao Chun-jong last played for the Texas Air Hogs in 2018. He did a fantastic job there. 22 games, 25 1/3 innings, ERA 1.42, WHIP 9.87. Alan John Carter played at Lee University last summer. 3 starts and 7 relief appearances, totaling 17 innings, 34 strikeouts. That's an average of 2 Ks per inning. ERA 1.06, WHIP 7.65. 26-year-old Chi Sin was another member of the Texas Air Hogs in 2018. 21 games, 21 innings, ERA 2.11, WHIP 16.41. 23-year-old Hao Chong was also on the Air Hogs team that year. He threw 24 innings and 6 starts, ERA 7.50, WHIP 19.17. Yu Chen Wang played for a collegiate league team, the Alexandria Aces, and did not perform well in a short time there. 8 games, 7 1/3 innings, ERA 14.73, WHIP 3.0. And that's all the pitchers. If it seems like an incomplete list, that's because it is. Those 7 pitchers are the only ones we know anything about. The other 7 are Hai Cheng Gong, Chang Lin, Chong Long Su, Hai Long Sun, Wei Yi Wang, Xiang Wang, and Fuyang Zhao. I assume they are players in the Chinese league, but I'm not sure about that. If you count all the pitchers here, it's only 14. That's the smallest number of pitchers on any WBC roster. From the guys we know, Hao Chong was a starting pitcher in an independent league in 2018, and Alan Carter started a little in college last year. The rest are all relievers. Kwang Ju is a good one. I should mention, though, that Kwang Ju will not pitch against Korea. He's already said that he will not do that. Chao Chun-jong was a good reliever in independent ball, but that was 5 years ago. Only one pitcher on here with experience in the major league system, and that was 1 failed season, 4 years ago. The hitting looks a little more promising. Here's what they've got. 39-year-old Ray Chung played in the MLB system from 2005 to 2016, mostly in AA and AAA. In his last season in 2016, he played 26 games at AAA Louisville, slashing .236, .304, .292. Never had much power or speed, but in some years had a decent average and on-base percentage. Played mostly at first in later years, but also was used at second and third. Yusuke Masago is an active member of NPB's SoftBank Hawks. He's been bouncing back and forth between the minors and the top team the last 5 years. In 2021, he played in 79 games for the Big League Hawks, hitting .254, .295, .333, which is pretty good. But in 2022, he only played in 29 games and went 2 out of 29 at the plate. Good season in the minors, though, 8 home runs in 71 games with a .310 average. 22-year-old Yong Kong Ko bats left-handed and played in the Rookie League for the Brewers in 2019. 28 games, 101 plate appearances with a line of 143, 158, 184 with 1 home run. He mostly played at first base, occasionally at third and left. Xiao Han is a 26-year-old left-handed hitter, played 2 seasons with the Texas Airhogs, 2018 and 2019. In his last season there, he played in 29 games, stole 5 bases, and slashed 180, 232, 258. He played several games at all outfield positions. Chao Tsie played 2 seasons with the Airhogs, 2018 and 2019. In his last year there, he put together a slash line of 175, 219, 203 in 56 games. He split time between first and third, with a few appearances at second. Ning Li is yet another Airhog veteran from the 2018 and 2019 seasons. He put together some good numbers there in his last season. 78 games with a line of 285, 387, 314. 7 steals, but also caught stealing 7 times. Not sure where they'll use him, though. He played mostly at second in 2018, mostly in left in 2019. Also played a little at catcher. Leong Pei was another member of the 2018 Airhog team, 2018 only. In 24 games, his line was 191, 267, 206. Struck out a lot, 22 times in 75 plate appearances. He played 21 games at second and 2 games at short that year. Jin Jun Lo played in 79 games for the Airhogs in 2019. Hit .224, .278, .250 with 12 stolen bases. Played mostly at third, but also spent a lot of time at second and short. At catcher, they've got 27-year-old left-handed batter Chen Chen Luan. In 44 games with the Airhogs in 2019, he slashed 188, 228, 197. And those are the hitters for Team China. A few we don't have any information on. Jin Yang, Yu Heng Liu, Yun Lu, Yifan Li, a catcher named Chen Chen, and a third baseman also named Chen Chen. Masago is coming off a bad year, but he showed in the past he could hit the ball off of NPB pitchers. Chang could hit the ball in AAA, but he's been out of the MLB system for 6 years. At 39, maybe he can still hit the ball. The rest mostly played for the Airhogs 4 or 5 years ago, and among them, Ning Li was the only decent hitter. If that's the best that Team China has, I will have to say that this is the worst team in the WBC, and they have no chance whatsoever. Comparing this team with their 2017 WBC team, which went 0-3, you've got some returning members like Ray Chang, Ju Kwon, and Ning Li, but the 2017 team had Bruce Chen, who had just finished a long major league career with over 1,000 strikeouts. No one like that on their 2023 roster. The best they can do is beat the Czech Republic and not have to qualify next time. They might be able to pull that off. They have a good KBO reliever, a good college pitcher, and a couple that were good with the Airhogs, so maybe they can shut down the Czech hitting, and China can win a low-scoring game. But I would have the Czech team favored over China. I'd give China a 20% chance of beating the Czech team and avoiding the basement of Pool B, and no chance whatsoever of beating anyone else. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think down in the comments. That's all for this one, and until next time, this is Baseball International. See ya!